Hi, this is Shannon. This is Cycle 1, Week 5. If you are new here, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, and we are part of Classical Conversations, which we love. And I have the privilege of tutoring the obesitarians, so the 4 and 5 and sometimes 6-year-olds. I'm excited to share with you some ideas for how to present the memory work to the kids in your group as a tutor. And so again, this is for week 5. Make sure you stick around until the end of this video. I'm going to share a review game that I made that you can play with your class, and also where to download some free activities you can use at home to practice the memory work with your kids for this week, for Cycle 1, Week 5. So I'll explain all that at the end. I like to start with English. I made these notebooks for each kid in my class. They're just these preschool lined paper notebooks. I'll link below if you're interested. I decorated one for each kid with their name and a biology design. I laminated these papers for the kids in my class. This isn't an actual name of one of the kids. I just made this for an example to show you. But I have these out on the table, so the kids walk in, they open their notebooks to week 5. So I prepare these ahead of time with the prepositions that we are doing, because we are continuing prepositions this week. I wanted to show you this time a way you can kind of change it up. If you've watched my last few videos, I have written a few of the prepositions and then left some lines blank for them to write them. You can also write little dots that the kids can trace. So I wanted to show you, I did that for a couple of the words today. Depending on how old your kids are, if you have mostly 4-year-olds, they might need a lot more help writing than if you have older 5-year-olds. So you can do a mixture depending on the level of your kids. You can also prep each notebook a little bit differently. So if you have, a 5-and-a-half-year-old who's pretty good at writing, then you could leave more blanks and they could write more of the prepositions on their own. And then if you have some younger kids, you could either write all of them for them and they could just trace your writing, or you could do the dot thing like I did here and they could trace, or you could have them just write one word on their own. That's what I did here. And then they're supposed to trace between and by. So you can really change it up depending on the level of your kids, and you can really personalize it. This literally takes me 5 minutes to prep each week. It doesn't take me long at all. And I love them to have writing practice each week. I did this last year and it worked really well. So I really like doing this for English. We are talking about these 5 prepositions today, starting with between and ending with concerning. We have been learning a preposition song. If you've watched my past videos, you've seen this, and if not, I'm going to start from the beginning today so you can see what it's like from the beginning. But first, I'm going to show my kids the hand motions for our new prepositions, and then once they have a chance to finish writing, I'll have everybody stand up and we'll try the song from the beginning with the hand motions. I'm going to show you the motions for this week. We are starting with the preposition between and ending with concerning this week. And then I'll start from the beginning of the song and sing through this week. So first, this week we will be squatting, because last week we ended with beside and we were squatting when we did that. So last week we ended with beside, then we will stay squatting and do between, and we put our hand in the middle of our face for between. So beside from last week, between, then we stand up and go beyond, so we point beyond. Then we do but, so we put our finger over our lips, but, by, we hold our hand out beside ourselves, so by, and then concerning, little head tilt, concerning. All right, I'm going to do them from the first week, so this is starting at week 2 through week 5. Here we go. And I like to start this way because it makes more sense to me to sing the definition of the preposition first. My daughter's really into it. So I'm going to stick with this and then we'll start the preposition. So it goes like this. A preposition, toot, 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 relates a noun. Toot, 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 or pronoun toot. Toot, 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 another word. Toot, toot, toot. About, above, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, atop, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, but, by, concerning. I'll do it one more time. A preposition, to toot, relates a noun. To toot, or pronoun to. To toot, another word. To toot. About, above, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, atop, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, but by, concerning. For timeline this week, I have my timeline cards with my letters on them. If you've watched my previous videos, you've seen this. Since I have the Abecedarians, I like to put letters I get from the dollar store on them that match with what each word, the first word of the event, starts with, just to help the little kids identify them, since a lot of them can't read yet. So what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to have 7 pieces of painter's tape up on the wall. And then I'm going to have the kids come and sit on the floor in a circle. I'm going to just give 1 card or 2, depending on how many kids I have, to each kid. And we're going to go over the timeline events in order. So the first one is Judah falls to Babylon. So I'll say, who has Judah falls to Babylon? What does Judah start with? J. Oh, cool. Who has that? And then, whoever has that, we'll look at it. We'll do the hand motion for it, and which I'll show the hand motions in a minute. We'll do the hand motion for it, and then we'll put it in the middle of our circle on the ground. Then I'll go over the next one. So Babylon falls to Persia. I'll say, okay, who has that one? What does Babylon start with? B. Okay, so who has that? And then whoever has that, we'll go over the hand motion for that one, and then we'll put it on the floor in the center of the circle. Now, after all the cards are on the ground in the middle of our circle, I will spread them out so we can see all of them, and I'll tell the kids, okay, I want you to study these really hard, look at all the different cards, make sure you know which cards are here, because in a minute I'm going to take one of them away, and you have to guess which one is gone. So I'll have them all close their eyes, and I'll say, okay, don't peek. And so I'll take one of the cards away, and then I'll have them look at the remaining cards and see if anybody can guess which one is not there anymore. Whoever guesses it, and if they have a hard time, you can give them a hint, help them. So whoever guesses it, I'm going to have them go put that card on the correct spot on the wall. And I like doing this because I think it's good for them to practice, oh, this card, this is the Jews return and rebuild the temple. That's the first one that I took away. So that actually goes in the 3rd spot. So which one is the 3rd spot on the wall? I think that's good for them to practice that. So, and then this is kind of silly. You can do this if you want or leave it out. But my kids I don't know if you recognize this tune. It goes, bunny hop, 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 hop. Bunny hop, 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 stop. I don't know what song that is, but I like that tune. So I'm going to have them take their timeline card. And since they're little, I think they'll think this is fun. I'm going to have them hop over like bunnies to the wall and put it in the right spot. And then we're going to sing timeline hop, 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 hop. Timeline hop, 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 stop. It's kind of like a tongue twister, but I think it'll be fun. So we're going to do that, and then I'll do that for each card until all of them are up on the wall. And then I'll have the kids stand up against the wall, and we'll go over the motions together. Now, you don't have to go over the motions again, because if your community is similar to ours, we already did the motions as a big group. And if you're short on time, you might not want to spend time doing it again. But you can also do it pretty quickly. And I like to sing the timeline song or the tune of it, usually instead of playing the music, just because I can slow it down and we can get the motions better. The motions go like this. Judah falls to Babylon. Then I make a T, so I put my thumb under my first finger. Temple destroyed. I start with my hands out and bring them together, and then out again. Babylon, so an L in my palm. Babylon falls to Persia. Jews, I'm going to do a J. Jews return and rebuild the temple. Then we're going to do Roman Republic, so Roman Republic. Golden Age of Greece, I'm going to go like that and start at my temple and go like this, Golden Age of Greece. And then Peloponnesian, wars, I'm going to make my thumb and my pointer finger and go down my nose like this, Peloponnesian Wars, and war is like this. We'll do this a lot in the timeline song. And then Persia falls to Alexander, so an A, the Great. Those are the timeline motions. For geography this week, we are talking about the Egyptian Empire. I have my trivium table map with these places outlined with dry erase marker. This is how I'm going to prepare my maps for each kid for our class time. So I have these trivium table maps from the Classical Conversations bookstore. Our director got us one for each kid in our class, which is awesome, but you could also laminate the maps that you can find in the Sandbox e-Zine and CC Connected too. So we are talking about the Egyptian Empire, and I'm going to show my kids each of the spots on their map. And I have this little Lego man that I got from the dollar store that I'm going to have them touch each location with. So we're going to start with Egypt, which is outlined in blue. And then this is tricky. I'm going to ask them, okay, do you think the green is Upper Egypt or the orange is Upper Egypt? What do you think? And they're probably going to say, the green is, and it's actually not. The green is Lower Egypt, the orange is Upper Egypt, which is tricky. And then we've got the Nile River in pink and the Nile River Delta in purple. I'm going to teach my kids a song to the tune Baby Beluga, and it goes like this. Egyptian Empire, Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, Nile River Delta, Egyptian Empire. Egyptian Empire, Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, Nile River Delta, Egyptian Empire. So that is geography, and I would also encourage you, this is a great time to review some of the places we've talked about in previous weeks. They have their maps in front of them, so it'd be a great way to say, hey, who remembers what these two rivers are called? The Tigris and the Euphrates River. Which one is this one? Which one is this one? What's this little triangle down here? That's Sumer. Remember that? Do you remember the city in between the two rivers? Babylon? Do you remember what this big sea is called here? The Mediterranean Sea. What about this sea up here? What about this one? The Black Sea, the Caspian Sea. We've got the Red Sea down here, the Persian Gulf. Just a great way to review places that you have already taught them. For math this week, we are skip counting the 9s and the 10s. So for the 9s, I will first go over the 9s with them by singing the Classical Conversations tune and pointing to the 9s on my board. So it goes like this. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, and 90, 99, 108, 117, 126, 135. And then I will have them do it with me, but first they're going to lie down and sing it. Then they're going to sit up and sing it. Then they're going to kneel. Then they're going to sit on their chair, and then they're going to stand up and sing it. So just to add some fun different ways that they're singing it. For the 10s, we're going to chant it. And I'm going to have them give double high fives like this because of 10 fingers. So I'm going to have them turn to the person on one side of them and chant, and then they're going to turn to the person on the other side of them. Then we're going to do high 10s, low 10s, soft 10s, hard 10s, but not too hard. So it goes like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. So pretty simple. That's math this week. For history this week, I am going to do something I did a lot last year and the kids loved it. I'm going to use silly words. So first I'm going to sing/say the history sentence normally to the kids. We're talking about the Romans this week. And then I'm going to say it with some silly words thrown in and see if they notice. So first you can kind of do the classical conversations tune as you say it, or you can just say it. So it kind of goes like this. The Roman Republic became the Roman Empire when Augustus was crowned emperor in 27 BC. This was followed by the Pax Romana. In 82-86, the empire divided into the Western and Eastern empires until Germanic barbarians defeated the Western Empire in 84-76. So, or you could just say it. So I will sing it or say it to my kids, and then I'll say, okay, I'm going to say this again, but I'm going to put some silly words in there. And so raise your hand if you hear a word that doesn't belong. So I'm going to start like this. The Ronald Republic. Ronald? No, not Ronald. What should it be? Oh, Roman. Okay, let's try again. The Roman Republic became the Roman hamburger. Hamburger? No, what should it be? Oh, the Roman Empire. So then every time I start at the beginning, and I do it correctly until the next silly word. So they're going to hear it a lot, just naturally doing that. So I'll tell you the rest of the silly words I did. So again, I did Ronald instead of Roman. I did hamburger instead of empire. I did round instead of crowned. I did snacks instead of packs. Umpire instead of empire. Acorn instead of Eastern. Baboons instead of barbarians, and windy instead of Western. So you can do any words you want. I like to try to find words that kind of rhyme, and depending on your age, the age of your kids, you might want to do more obvious ones, or if they're a little bit older, you could try to be a little bit more tricky. So we'll do that and just again start at the beginning and say it correctly until the next silly word, until we go through all the silly words and then they've heard it a lot of times. For Latin this week, we are doing the second declension noun endings, and I'm going to teach them the classical conversations tuned to these, and also we're going to do some fun movements to them after we sing it normally. So the normal way, it goes like this. Us, e, o, o. Us, e, o, o. Us, e, o, o. Singular second declension. E, orum, is, os, is. E, orum, is, os, is. E, orum, is, os, is. Plural second declension. And then we're going to do that as we do these fun movements. So I have these cards I've shown before. I'll link below where you can download them for free if you want. We've got like squats, crawl, hop on one foot, upside down, fly like a bird. What I'm going to do to change it up a little bit is I'm going to have the kids rotate rolling the die. So like one kid rolls a 1, and then they'll choose a movement card, and that will be the one associated with 1. And we'll do that until we get a movement card associated with each number. And then I'll have the kids switch off rolling the dice. So if they roll and they get a 6, whichever movement card associated with the 6, so say shooting stars, we'll jump and go like that. We'll do that as we sing the Latin. So for example, if we had shooting stars, we'll get a little out of breath, but it'll go something like this. Us, e, o, o. Us, e, o, o. You get the idea. You could also do silly voices for this too, if you like that better. I have those cards. I'll link below as well. You could do the Latin in different silly voices. For science this week, we are talking about the major groups of invertebrates, and we're going to do little hand motions to these and learn a little song. So first, sponges, we're going to act like we're wringing out a sponge. And then for flatworms, we're going to go like this. For stinging cell animals, we're going to sting ourselves. For roundworms, we're going to make a circle. For mollusk, we're going to go like open and close like a clam. For segmented worms, we're going to divide the air like that. For sea stars, we're going to touch our eyes and go like that. And then arthropods, we're going to act like crawling on our arm. So we're going to sing this song to the tune of Bingo, and I'll try to do the motions as I sing it. It goes like this. The major groups of invertebrates, sponges, flatworms, stinging cell animals, roundworms, mollusks, segmented worms, sea stars, and arthropods. I'll do that one more time. Major groups of invertebrates, sponges, flatworms, stinging cell animals, roundworms, mollusks, segmented worms, sea stars, and arthropods. The major groups of invertebrates, sponges, flatworms, stinging cell animals, roundworms, mollusks, segmented worms, sea stars, and arthropods. So that is science this week. I made a bingo game to review this week. So I've said before in my other videos, I don't often do a review game because my kids are really young and they are just tired by the end of our time on Community Day. And so sometimes I feel like another thing is just too much. But I did want to make a game for days that I didn't feel like doing a game was too much, and I felt like that would be good. So I made this bingo board. So basically it just has all the different subjects, and then on the top it has some fun, silly actions. So there's 2 dice, and the templates for these are connected to this. You can download this for free. So one has the movements on it, one has the subjects. So you can put the kids into teams, or you can just have them do it individually. So they roll both dice at the same time. And for example, if you rolled the blue and the orange, so hop like a bunny and timeline, then you would find hop like a bunny and timeline here, put some kind of marker, so like you could bring candy in or put like a paper marker or whatever you want, and then just ask a timeline question and have them try to answer it while hopping like a, or what did I say? Yeah, hopping like a bunny. And I've found that I do better just doing these questions on the fly. Like, really depends on the level of your kids. My kids are getting really young, so I might just say, hey, do you remember how to sing some of the timeline song? Let's sing it together. You know, keep it really simple. Or for English, you could say, does anybody remember any of the prepositions we talked about? Or if you feel like your kids are a little bit higher level, then you could say, hey, tell me 5 prepositions that we talked about, or something like that. So you could write out questions, but I just tend to do better kind of thinking on the fly. You could have your foundations guide, just open it up to a week that we've done in the past, and then you have all the memory work right in front of you, and so that makes it easy too. So I'll link below in the description where you can download this for free if you are looking for a review game. I want to show you the games and activities I've made to go along with the memory work this week. You can do these at home with your kids, so just keep practicing the memory work. We love games in my family, so that's why I make these. It's just fun to be playing a game and be practicing the memory work at the same time. So the first one is science. I made these domino cards that are vertebrate, non-vertebrate animals. And so they have to match the picture of a vertebrate, for example, to the vertebrate word, or an invertebrate to the invertebrate word. So dominoes. And then I made this history game about the Roman Empire. It's like sequence. So you can make this die. I have the template attached to this, so you can just cut it out and roll the die and then see what you get, and then put a little marker on here. The goal is to get 6 in a row. And if you get 6 in a row in the right order, that's even better. So Roman Empire game. Then I have skip counting the 9s, a maze for skip counting the 10s. I've got a map of the Egyptian Empire and lots of review of other places that we've learned so far this cycle. And I have the Latin endings bingo game. I've showed this before. So you can download all of these. They're free. They're on my blog. I'll link below how to find them. I've shown these before, but I'll show it again. I love using these coloring pages from Amy Snyder Design. You can get them on Etsy. So I have one for science, the major groups of invertebrates. I have one for history, the Roman Empire, and one for geography. And I print these out and give these to my kids to take home as just something to do during the week when they practice the memory work. If you are enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel. I am posting 2 videos per week relating to homeschooling, both tutoring and our homeschooling throughout the week, just different things related to that. Follow me on Instagram. I post lots of things about just what we do as a family related to homeschooling and how we practice memory work throughout the week. So you can follow me on there if you're interested in any of that. And I also am making free resources for your kids to use each week, so be sure to check the description out below to see how you can download those so you can just have more fun games and activities to do with your kids to help them practice the memory word during the week. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.